From the Foundation Studio right here in Lexi's Back Bay, Coastal Mississippi. Welcome to SuperTalk Outdoors, where we celebrate every single Monday the world-class outdoors of the state of Mississippi and the people who are so passionate about it. Or should I say for today's show, the people who are so obsessed with it. We'll come back to that in just a second. SuperTalk Outdoors is brought to you by the Foundation. They are working to protect our outdoors heritage every single day. You know, since we did our show last week, the first show of SuperTalk Outdoors, I've heard from so many people. They really enjoyed my conversation with Jimmy Primos and Brad Ferris. And then I played a segment for my Coast View session with Will Primos. If you missed that conversation, you can go do a search in Google or whatever search engine you use, SuperTalk Outdoors, and it will come up. Or you can go to your favorite podcast and just search SuperTalk Outdoors. A couple of the friends I heard from with Tom and Coy Pina, they're old friends from Southern Miss. They actually live in Miami now, but they have a hunting camp in Strong, Mississippi, where they spend a lot of time this time of year, as you would expect they would naturally. It was great to hear from you guys, Tom and Coy. So as I promised last week, I want you to meet my friend and my producer, Cal Curley. He's the producer of SuperTalk Outdoors and also the producer of Coast View, the show that I do down here on the coast. So it's a show focused on coastal Mississippi. So if you like the coast, do a search on Coast View. By the way, view means the visual perception of a region. Anyway, good morning, Kyle. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How about you, sir?
I'm doing fine. So I know you probably recognize that voice. He does IT, operations. He does voice for multiple radio stations. And he does the music in the Superdome during the Saints games. He's literally a living Renaissance man, and he loves to fish. Don't you, buddy?
I do. I got a text from my son this morning, said, hey, can we go fishing Wednesday or Thursday this week in the afternoon? Pretty sure he wants me to check him out of school, but no, we'll wait till he go in the evening.
I love to hear the stories of Kyle and his son. They fish all along coastal Mississippi. But, man, that time with your son, buddy, I mean, that's what the outdoors is all about, isn't it?
It really is. I enjoy the heck out of it. We don't get to really spend that kind of time together anywhere else because just the nature of things, we're always in a different setting. But when we go fishing, it's just him and I, and he likes to make fun of me for just simple things that I do, and I make fun of him for losing fish, and it's a good time. Kind of the same thing that you probably enjoy with your kids, right?
It is for sure, man. You saw we had a great trip to Horn Island this weekend. You see that?
I did. There were some beautiful pictures.
Yeah. Did you grab any of those?
I did.
Yeah. Look, what happened is Friday night, one of the things about living on the coast and living on the water, Friday night we looked at the weather forecast for Saturday morning, and we decided, wow, man, we've got to go. So we hopped in the boat and we ran to Horn Island. The sunrise was absolutely beautiful. And Horn Island, when you're there in that setting, any of the coastal islands off of Mississippi or the backwaters of coastal Mississippi, I find myself often thinking to myself, is there a better place to fish anywhere in the world? The sights are incredible. And the fishing, my goodness, the fishing is absolutely incredible. So my son Jordan and his friend Leland and I went, and we just had a great time. And caught some speckled trout and redfish and flounder and some white trout as well. It was just a great trip. But a great reminder, man, Mississippi has so much to offer. No matter where you enjoy the outdoors, it's here for you to enjoy. Anyway, Kyle, thank you, my friend, for all you do for me and SuperTalk.
You bet. I appreciate it.
So, look, I've said this so many times before. There's something beyond exhilarating when you immerse yourself in Mississippi's outdoors. Yeah, I can literally feel my blood pressure drop, and I feel like my mind is more creative when I'm out there. And for one thing is for sure, as Kyle and I were just talking about, we feel closer to our family and our friends. We feel closer to God. I told Cuz Strickland, who we're about to introduce in just a second before the show started, that for someone who doesn't quite get it, they just need to walk out deep into the woods and sit down and just let silence happen. And that's the way to really understand the connection between nature and God and yourself. I can't think of a better way to do it. But whether you're taking a deep breath of the coastal Mississippi salt air like I get to do every morning when I'm not at my place in the Delta, or if you're, just breathing that crisp, air of Northeast Mississippi or in the Mississippi Delta with that alluvial soil and all that, the miles and miles of farmland, when you take it in, man, it just kind of takes you over. Mossy Oaks' Toxey Haas had something to say about it. He said, fresh, and clear when he talked about the early spring in a bottomland. And bottomland, really, you could go just about any bottomland in Mississippi, and you sense that this fresh and clean and clear. And he went on to say it's such a rush to be out in it this time of year. There's a shock and awe of the turkey gobble, especially down here in the South, where it just explodes. It does something to you. It's glue, nature and God and family. That's what Toxey has to say about it. And frankly, he could not be more right. I mean, enjoying the outdoor in Mississippi is part of our heritage. It's literally in our DNA. So today we're going to spend the entire hour talking to my friend Toxey Haas and his partner in crime, just like Kyle is my partner in crime, Cuz Strickland from Mossy Oaks. Anyway, guys, welcome to the second edition of SuperTalk Outdoors.
Well, it's an honor to be here. Hey, I watched the first one. And man, that was pretty special. You're the right guy for the job, Ricky. I promise you.
I appreciate
it. Absolutely.
Thank you. So where are you located right now, Toxey?
Where am I located? I'm at our family camp right now. Actually, my granddaughter's birthday is today, and got a bunch of them down here, and we decided to come to the country for her birthday. Headed back to civilization later in the morning. I almost came back. But I decided to do it from here. We got the technology stuff straightened out. But I have to say, you were singing from our hymn. That opening was just verbatim how we feel about that. Now you hear an airplane coming over, so I'm on a screen porch.
That's okay. Cuz where are you doing this show from today?
Oh, I'm at downtown West Point in my little, we call it the Camo Cave. It's where we started a podcast here, and they have one out on the highway too. But this is my happy place up here, the Camo Cave, we call it.
That's so great. Toxey, as I sort of prepared for this show, I've known your story for a long time, but there's something about having sort of the quiet time to think about it, to read your story, to study your story, to be reminded of your story and how important it is. Someone said of you that you're one of Mississippi's greatest entrepreneurs. They also said that you're a conservationist. You probably feel more strongly about the conservationist title than you do the entrepreneur title. But when you look back on it, you think about your time, your father's inspiration, Mr. Fox's, Paw, the grandkids call him, your time with Cuz, and what you've been able to do with this multifaceted company that we're going to talk about in a few minutes. When you look back, what stands out the most to you?
I mean, everything's, as far as I'm concerned, everything's a miracle. And I know, I could go 100 directions from what you just asked, but it's mostly the people. It did start with my dad and as a kid, and the thing, we're kind of all programmed as a child in different ways. I grew up on a farm, and even 2, 3, 4 years old, just a wild buck running in the weeds. And so, and then as soon as I could even, maybe 5 and 6, I started going outdoors with him. But it started with him, but it took a quantum leap when people like Bill Sugg and Cuz and Bob Dixon, God rest his soul, came along, and just, it's not me, and man, I'm not doing that to deflect anything. I'm just telling the truth. It's a culmination of everybody here in the brand. And from day one, we kind of wanted to be. We kind of have an outside-in philosophy, and that's that servant spirit. And that's the way we want to be with all our whatever consumers we do have. And so, we just wanted to be for everyone. And honestly, the mission statement for all the companies collectively under the brand is still as simple as connecting human beings with nature. Everything we do points back to that. I mean, even I see the shirt you're wearing is, nature on fabric is representing that. So your words on the open are straight out of our playbook. And it's just being who we are. It's not something we, came up with some master strategy, and even the businesses we're in. It's just who we are, doing the things we love and finding a way to bring them to people. And Cuz will tell you that because he was there from the first days when we were like a couple of used car salesmen, literally.
Hey, Toxey, I was a CEO the last 15, 16 years of my career. And there was a book that was written called Built to Last. I don't know if you ever had a chance to read it, but it was a great book based on a lot of research. And essentially what it said was that those companies that stood the test of time, they built into their companies these like enduring core values, these things that were, when they say stand the test of time, it means go beyond the founding member. You could go away, Toxey, and these principles, this enduring core value would still be there, which drive your company. What we're going to do when we come back, I want to show sort of the family tree of your companies and talk a little bit about it. And then what we're going to do, we're going to shift gear and just talk about the outdoors in Mississippi, what it means to all of us, and some funny stories along the way that you guys have been involved in. But when we come back, we've got Toxey Haas from Mossy Oaks and his sidekick, or I would say partner in crime, Cuz Strickland, and we'll continue the conversation after this break.